Our HR director is here too,
Oh,
so
yeah. So everybody has to behave.
in case anyone treats you badly, take it to HR.
And we have the stellar team from Hotel Andra back here too. We are so proud of our partnership with them. And stay in the hotel was crazy last night. It was so beautiful.
But there is still next week.
So when you come, stay in the hotel. Love it. We're going to continue with Cairo's broadcast time frame. We take an approximately 10-minute segment. So there's a subject we segment that we try to pay attention to, and then we'll break. There'll be some good side chatter, and then we'll start up for the next segment. It's very casual. We love audience participation and pictures. We've got the paper for the last segment. For the second hour, report trivia is burning audience questions. So if anybody wants to submit questions, I'll collect them at around 10 o'clock.
Is it how do you burn something?
Yeah, Tom's good at that. He loves that flavor. Restrooms.
Tell them about the short ribs I made you in Hawaii.
Spectacular.
They were spectacular.
Kids can get up at any time. Walk around. I like to stretch one out. And Sean, where'd Sean go?
And normally we have a live band, but today they couldn't make it. So
Oh, do you think we could get Questlove as our house band?
yeah, that would be nice.
So you know that the taping is also on YouTube Live. So
Are we on? Are we up on
Sean
YouTube?
will
at this
welcome
point?
that
Okay.
audience.
Hello, YouTubers.
Hello, YouTubers.
That's our camera there, and for our guest camera there, or for you.
How many-
First, we'd like to take a minute to, we all have our gods that we worship, and some of your gods are different than my gods. So we're going to take a minute today to worship my God,
The gravy
which
god.
is my mother's stove here in the corner. I inherited this in August when she passed. So I went back to Delaware and shipped it out here. It's exactly the way she left it, shiny and gleamy. And so if you could take a quiet second here, let's have a moment of euphoria for my mother's stove. Yay! Here we go.
Just thinking about this, how many dishes came out of that?
She bought it in 1952 for $225, and she had it on a 10-year payment plan. And it was a company that
Is that
my
like
dad
2
was-
cents a week?
my dad was selling to at the time. My dad was before cardboard. Can you imagine before cardboard? Anyone in this
No.
room?
No.
Before cardboard, everything used to be shipped in wire-bound crates. So thin slats of wood that were bound by wire, and then they would kind of mold it around whatever it is, whether it was a motorcycle or a bathtub. Or that was his job, to go design these wire-bound shipping crates. And so he worked. This was made by the Ream factory, which I know more as a hot water tank company. And this was their stove line, Wedgwood stoves. Here's the little backstory right there.
Backstory. Love it.
I have a 1952 Roper in my house that don't look half as good as this. It works, but it doesn't look half as
My
good.
mother cooked for almost 10 people every day, 3 meals a day on that stove.
Bless her heart.
Let's see, she died in 22 and she bought it in 52, 70 years.
Wow, that is crazy.
6 burners, 2 ovens, 2 broilers.
Julie is willing to make mimosas if anybody's in the mood, but I'm not letting the talent have them yet, but you guys can.
Twice she called us talent.
I know. I'm feeling very special
She
today.
doesn't use an adjective whether we're a good talent or bad talent.
That's coming soon, after the first segment.
Julie, I've never seen you awake at this hour before. Why are you here?
I don't think I'm awake.
Oh, okay.
I bartended at Lola last night.
Did you? Wow.
After she worked here all day.
Were they a little short-handed?
They had no bartender.
That's
short-handed
when they have no bartender.
Lola without a bartender. Sad.
And in case anybody wonders why I'm wearing this little wire here, I need some oxygen because I have what's called pulmonary fibrosis. That's basically, in short term, my immune system is attacking my lungs. So eventually, I will need 2 new airbags and get
I'll
back
give
on
you
life
one.
as normal.
I'll give you mine. You're more worthy.
No, 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 no. It's okay. I will find somebody eventually.
Oh, thank you for that.
You're very
explanation.
welcome.
Appreciate it. I think
It
that-
doesn't hurt, so you know.
I think it's nice
just-
for people to
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a new transportation method
IPF.
for meth, but I guess not.
No, it's not.
No, okay. All right, you guys ready?
Ready?
Let's get started on the show.
Big responsibility.
Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. We have a nice audience here today. We're coming to you live from downtown Seattle in the beautiful, lovely Hotel Andra. Have you stayed in the new room since they remodeled last year?
I haven't had the privilege yet.
Well, you know, I get a little.
I think we
trade
can hook
room,
him
so,
up.
yeah, I can hook you
I'll,
up.
I'll,
So
I'll take you on this.
you and Kathy want to do a little
Eventually, yeah, we'll do a
staycation down here.
staycation downtown.
Yeah,
Eat breakfast across the street.
we happen to have some restaurants in the area.
I know.
Good fun to go do. We are going to do our usual 2-hour show. I'm just back from vacation in Hawaii in the Big Island. Just got out in time. They were expecting 2 feet of rain starting yesterday. 2 feet of rain.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water, a lot of wind, 80-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm happy to be home here in Seattle where it's just miserable.
So
instead
instead,
of super miserable.
instead you came to Seattle to get cold rain instead of warm
Yeah,
rain.
but it's coming down very slowly. You can join us on our YouTube channel. Go to Tom Douglas and Company YouTube channel, and you can join us for the fun that we have during our tapings here at the Hot Stove Society. We have lots of topics to talk about today. As usual, Pam has been scouring. Are you the only person that gets the newspaper in paper form these days?
It is every single day.
Every single day. Really?
Who does?
Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
I do too, the Seattle Times, but Pamela gets the New York Times every day. And of course, you've heard us say it before. They have the best food section in the world, I think. And just this is from the Sunday, January 29th edition. You have a little article on soup. It's 50 pages.
I know.
There's a lot.
I know they
to
went,
talk
they went, they
about.
went nuts.
50 pages. So Terry and I are going to take on soup today. Lots of different varieties and some classics and some do's and don'ts. Not just making fancy soup, but I have a few. I know you're
Yes,
surprised.
you
I have a
do.
few
I know
do's.
the number one thing I have for soups.
Okay, good. We're going to tell you that in a little bit. Calendar alert. Tons of Seattle restaurants are getting together to do a little fundraiser for Turkey and Syria earthquake relief. Of course, our buddy Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen is setting up shop there again. Places like Rachel's Bagels and Burritos. Of course, all of our joints. My favorite of the group is Terra Plata. I just love that restaurant.
Yeah.
It speaks to me in a funny way. It reminds me of Palace Kitchen.
Very
Anyway,
much.
We're going to talk about that for a bit later on in the show. We're going to consider some shortcuts. And Terry, this is coming down to you because I don't make cassoulet,
You don't?
but I think I would these days. I never was a bean person, and I'm becoming as a bean person.
You're a good human being.
Yeah, just saying. But you're going to give us some shortcuts how to make cassoulet. Can you do that really?
Well, we'll
I
see.
believe that's a lie.
We'll see,
Terry
we'll
doesn't
see.
take shortcuts.
Shortcuts can be very, I mean, there is plenty of ways to take shortcut in cooking, but sometimes no. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So we'll see if we can take a shortcut on cassoulet. Pizza at home, how to get better results, maybe even close to restaurant results. Local jam makers are here. Sarah and Dave McCormick. Talk about their new McCormick Jam company. Taking culinary questions from our audience. Are they burning? Because Pamela said they're burning. Burning questions. Okay. And lastly, of course, we have our Rub with Love Tasty Trivia Challenge. Today we'll play a special Mardi Gras edition. I don't have a Mardi Gras rub.
We need one.
We need one.
I guess. I want to thank our team for being here and setting up breakfast for all the folks in the audience today. You can get a ticket. Go to hotstovesociety.com. Sean is our technical director. Of course, Pam, our producer. And the chef in the chapeau, my trusty cohort here, co-host on the Hot Stove Society radio show.
Always here.
Let's talk taste of the week.
Valentine's
Okay,
Day.
I will. I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead. Talk about your
No,
taste.
go.
For Valentine's Day, I made, for the first time, we were at home because, we ran restaurant all our life, so we've never had Valentine's Day off. But this year we were at home and we were like, let's make a nice little dinner. So I asked Kathy what she wanted. She said, lobster and filet mignon. She said, we never ever do that. She said, we
Little
never,
surf and
we
turf.
never do that. So I'm like, sure, let's do that. But we never get to the filet mignon. We get to the lobster though.
Well, what
I went to-
happened?
I went to.
What happened, Chef?
Oh no, not that
Did you
way.
get cooking in the kitchen or what?
Hey, this is what happened. We started with we started with Dom Perignon.
Yeah. Holy smokers. That's a Valentine's Day to remember right there.
I'm sorry, that wasn't the taste of the week. The taste of the week is the lobster and the salad. The first we started with a nice smoked salmon salad with avocado rings. I made some, avocado, smoked salmon.
Mhm.
Nice little salad of endive, radishes, parsley, and a nice little argan oil lemon dressing. It was very simple and super, super delicious for that time of the year.
Right.
And then the lobster, I just steam the lobster whole, fresh, live, and then cut it in half, the shells, and then take the meat out, slice the lobster very gently in nice little medallions, nice little pieces.
Uh-huh.
And then on the side, I had some red bliss potatoes and I blanched, peeled, and then I cooked them for 3 hours in olive oil, confit, olive oil, rosemary, lemon, and what else? Bay leaf. Cook that very slowly till they were totally like melt in your mouth, kind of like potatoes that you barely can touch. Put that under the lobster medallion. I warmed them up in that same oil, took them out one by one, and finished with lemon juice.
Uh-huh.
Holy mackerel.
Oh, you were getting your rovers on.
That was so sweet and delicious.
Uh-huh.
Very simple, but I haven't had lobster in a long time, actually. I don't normally eat lobster when I go out.
Right.
And but I did lobster for years at Rovers, so it was.
Sounds delicious. I can't imagine why I wasn't invited for Valentine's.
Needless to say, that was really delicious.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
a
fine.
little crumbled cookie for with pastry cream. Then Kathy made that pastry cream crumbled cookie from Morocco that we brought back, and raspberries and whipped cream for dessert.
Lovely. Sounds
So lovely.
So
delicious.
lovely.
Well, my taste of the week was I often cook. Pam and I were just in Hawaii on vacation as families together with her husband, and Hercules was there, and Loretta and Benjamin were there, and it was a house full. Babe Shepherd from Red Mill Burgers was there, and so one night I made Maui meat. Does anyone remember
Maui
AJ's
meat?
Meat Market up on the top of Queen Anne Hill? They always had this
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of teriyaki-ish pre-marinated meat you could buy, and they called it Maui meat. So that's what we've always called it, Maui meat. It's like a Hawaiian tradition. Anyway, I bought some short ribs, the little Korean cut short ribs, and they were all marinated, ready to go. What's the one way you can really mess up a short rib?
But cook them way too fast to start.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can burn
chef.
them.
No, chef.
No? Okay.
They're only this thick.
All right.
The only way you can mess them up is to not cook them fast to start.
Yeah, I was going exactly where
Because you have to get them on a really hot grill because they cook so fast. You don't have to braise them like you do short ribs.
Right.
You can eat them rare.
Sure.
So gotta have a super hot barbecue grill going, live fuel preferably. Yes, thank you. I have to buy my own barbecue every time I go to Hawaii because I go up to the Ace up in Waimea and buy a little Weber grill because all they have is a gas barbecue.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah, first world problems.
Oh,
Anyway, Pamela had them.
Spectacular. Just the right amount of sweet
Hot,
and char.
sear, char, and I've made them a dozen times. They only come out perfect once out of a dozen.
This was it. One
Yeah,
of them.
because your fire has to be just right.
right.
Yeah.
I like them
And the
salt,
meat has to be
salt
nicely
and pepper.
marinated.
That's it. When
Yeah.
those little ribs like that.
I'm not inviting you then.
Well, that's okay.
Okay. In our next segment, we're going to get our soup on, and Chef, I expect some erstwhile tips from you about how to make delicious soup quickly.
Okay.
And I know that you can't do it because you're not quick at anything. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Okay, you guys have only one job. Scream and applause. Okay? I like those three guys going. This is really lively. We're taking the coffee away.
You're supposed to double it up.
Oh.
You were supposed to do my pineapple jalapeno
It's coming.
salad as your taste of the week. Remember?
Oh,
You
yeah.
poo-pooed it, and then
it
it
was
was delicious.
It was delicious.
Say it
Pamela
again.
made a pineapple jalapeno salad.
Pineapple
Oh my
jalapeno
God,
salad.
it was so good.
What
With
else?
cucumbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
That would be the what else was in there, because they can't just be pineapple.
Pineapple, cucumber, jalapeno.
What was our starch? I can't remember what our starch was.
Well, it was the day we had it over that curried, coconut curry
Oh.
fish on the sweet potatoes.
Yeah. I only left yesterday. You'd think I could remember something. Yeah.
It washes away so quickly. Soup's on.
That
Okay,
could be a-
here's a story about Hawaii. I was out golfing with a guy. He lived on the course at Mauna Kea, and he said in December they had a big storm, and they got this flash flood down the hills, down the slopes of Mauna Kea, and it washed 100 goats out to sea,
Oh no!
and then they all got washed back in, and they're dead on the beach at Hapuna. At
Oh
Hapuna,
yeah. Wow!
Isn't that the
Did
craziest
they
thing?
came back? But did they?
That's tragedy.
When they came back to the beach, were they alive or dead?
They were dead.
Oh wow!
But isn't that crazy to think you could wash?
Horrible.
Goats have such like sure footing.
Why
let
did
you-
you tell us that? Now I'm heartbroken.
Well, because there's so many goats.
I know.
The goat population has gone crazy.
Oh my God!
Onward.
They have good footing on dirt, bad footing in water.
Yeah.
And bad footing on the highway. No, I just thought I thought he was kind of BSing me a little bit. And then Joan Nancum confirmed it.
Wow.
All right, let's talk some soup.
All right, soup's on here at the Hot Stove Society Kitchen on Cairo. One little admonishment by our audience motivator, and boom, the crowd comes alive.
Yeah,
Nice
I
work.
just wanted to make sure they were alive.
Yes, no kidding.
I get worried when the audience doesn't clap. I'm like,
Pamela, tell us about this because this soup seems like right up your alley. I'm a late comer to soup. Maybe the last 10, 15 years I got into soup, but that's right up your alley.
I know, and especially at this time of year. So I was appreciative of the work that they did in the supplement to bring in other international classics because it focused on alternative seasoning methods that are not in my pantry for everyday use.
Right.
Like the Senegali soup has tamarind and peanut butter, like
In the soup.
in the soup.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's just all these exotic, wonderful other cultural twists. So I'm crazy for it. And they broke it down into creamy.
They being the New York Times. Yeah.
They being
Yeah.
the New York Times. Thank you. Creamy, thick and chunky, and brothy.
right.
And I am most attracted to the brothy category. And I made the miso soup a couple of nights ago, and it was spectacular.
Now, would you agree with me that chili is not a soup or is a soup?
It's not a soup.
No,
They have chili in here too, and I was a little disappointed.
Chili
I
is
think
a
I better
stew.
call them.
Yeah, chili's not soup.
chili is a
not a
stew,
soup.
just
But
like
if you go to any sort of restaurant and they say, "What's your soup of the day?" It's chili. Isn't that? I'm sorry. Okay, Jeff. 30 seconds on your number one don't. I'm going to go first because I know I don't want to steal mine. Your number one don't when you're making soup. Never make a chunk in your soup that's bigger than your soup spoon. You should not, in a brothy soup, try to be cutting like a meatball in half or whatever. If you're making wontons, make them small. You know, blah, blah, blah. That's my rant. Go ahead.
don't peel your vegetable before you make a soup.
Don't peel your vegetables. Is that
Yeah,
what
I
you
mean,
said?
yeah, I mean like carrots and your carrots and your vegetable like radishes. I see people do all kind of crazy thing before they make a soup. I'm like, no, that goes in the soup. I mean, you're gonna carrot peel? Are you kidding me? Don't peel your carrots before you put in the soup.
I'm agape.
Why?
Well, I'm just, for that to be your number one thing for radish, don't
Well,
peel
because
your
that's where all the
radishes.
flavors are. To me, I'm like, I want that to be in my soup. I don't want it to be out of my soup.
All right. Favorite soup to make, and try and make it so that it's not a 3-day soup, because your onion soup takes a long time.
I wasn't gonna say onion soup.
I know. Well, I didn't know that, but it does. Some soups take a really long
My
time.
favorite soup to make is It starts with rendered bacon, onions, carrots, celery, beans, tomato, and lots of seasoning, fresh herbs, if you can have it. Tarragon is my favorite to put in that. And that's it.
When you render the bacon, do
And
you
chicken
pull it
stock.
out crispy?
So the bacon is rendered. You pull the bacon out of the
Crispy.
pan, crispy.
Yeah.
And then you put in your onions. You sweat all your onions, your carrots, your celery. You just give them a nice little sear in there.
Uh-huh.
Then you add your tomato. Then you put your beans, and the beans doesn't take forever. You can use fresh beans that's already cooked, or you can use a canned bean. There are some delicious canned bean on the market. Frozen beans, fresh. You can do all of that. So, and chicken stock, lots of fresh herbs. In 45 minutes, you've got the most delicious soup. By the way, that's a soup. Then, if you can make it a day or two earlier, it's even better. The more it macerates, the better it is. But
Do you
it's
serve that with big chunks of crusty bread, or what do you like to?
Dahlia
serve?
Bakery bread, big slice, really, really, really well toasted. Big slunk of salted butter on top of that, and then go at it. See, if you
Pamela?
don't like butter, you can use nice virgin olive oil. That would be nice too.
Yeah.
But
Pamela, your favorite soup?
I just made a creamy carrot potato leek.
Mm-hmm.
It had a rich chicken broth, and the texture was so satisfying, and that underlayer of the butter sautéed leeks really enhanced the carrot. And I saw in the article they finished the creamy cauliflower with a rosemary oil.
Mhm.
So I want to do an infused oil to finish that soup with.
And do you use an immersion blender
Yeah.
then to get your creaminess?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those tools in the kitchen that I never used to have or use very much, and now I use it all the time. Especially now that I have a
Absolutely.
battery operated one, because you don't have that, running. Where
I
do
know,
I
the
plug in the
cord's always-
cord, bring the hot soup to the outlet?
yeah,
blah,
much
blah, blah.
easier.
So much easier.
It's a
And you're
great
starting to
idea.
see this like power tools and wood shops with the Milwaukee brand. You're starting
Yeah.
to see kitchen tools that have an exchangeable battery for little mixers and for bird blenders, even things like food processors, because you can take them anywhere.
Right.
It's super nice.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be working on a 2x4 making yourself a cocktail?
Yeah, why not?
What's your soup?
My soup this week, as a favorite, was up in Hawaii, in the little hill town of Waimea. We went up to get the huli huli chicken.
Excellent.
And by the way, I will tell you that I was there. It's called G&T huli huli chicken. And I was up there, and they told me that my article that I wrote for the Alaska Airlines magazine years ago changed their life. Isn't that crazy? They said
That it drove people
it
to their
drove
truck.
people up there to their truck.
How wonderful!
Because when you're in Hawaii and you don't have a ton of things to do, you just go take a drive. And if you have a purpose for your drive, it's in the parking lot, by the way, of Camawela Liquors. And what a good combination that is. So you get these nice smoky
Pretty good.
chickens, and you pull the chicken, and then you have all the bones. So I made chicken stock from the bones, and then I had furikake left from our short rib meal, and I used that for the seaweed. So smoky chicken broth, and the furikake is the seaweed kind of shake, and then miso and
Uh-oh.
we had those zucchinis in the fridge. I did diced zucchinis. I hate zucchini.
I know.
And I did diced zucchini. So I had the crunchy zucchini, the soft tofu, the smoky chicken broth, and I had red miso. So
Oh,
really fermented
gorgeous.
and delicious miso. Boom.
No noodles? Noodles? No noodles?
No noodles. No.
Oh, wow.
No.
I'm
It
impressed.
it was the starter of a spring roll wrap lunch.
Okay.
So spring rolls with
Yeah,
lettuce
yeah.
leaves and herbs and stuff like that.
Nice, delicious. I'm going to go fancy consommé. I love a good
Oh,
consommé.
yes.
I used to make I love making consommé. Let's put it this way. And I like the flavor of the consommé. So a good consommé starts number one with a good stock. So if you don't want to make a consommé from scratch, which I don't know why you would want to make a consommé if it's not from scratch, but make a
course.
good
Yeah,
stock.
you don't want to clarify canned stock.
Yeah, exactly. if you're going to spend your clarification on the stock. But good bones, well roasted, dark. So it could be kine fowl, it could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be veal. Nicely roasted with vegetables, tomato paste, water to cover all that very highly, and then cook very slowly for quite some hours, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours. Strain the whole thing up, and then make what's called a clarification. So clarification is you have your stock that's cold, and you make an egg white clarification with ground vegetable and some of the meat then you're trying to get flavor from. If it's a beef stock, you use a little bit of ground beef, carrots, onion, celery, and then egg white, and then mix the whole thing together, ground it, put that into the stock, bring the stock slowly to heat, and the egg white will coagulate with the vegetable and bring all the impurities up. It's called a raft. Comes to the top, and then gently you press in the middle and keep cooking this very soft, gently for about an hour and a half, and you get all that flavor from that raft added to the stock.
Wow.
And then you take all the liquid out, and you have this beautiful clear brown consommé full of flavor.
So do you like that as a starter? Do you like that
Oh, yeah.
under like a veal
Well, so then-
crepinette? How do
If
you
you
like
have
it?
that kind of gold in your refrigerator, you can do so many things. But first thing is you can do a broth to start with just added vermicelli to it, or you can do wonton and a steamed wonton and then put that into it, or you can do some Maine lobster and put that into it, or you can do. I mean, there's a million things you can add to it. You can do slices.
Okay, I got to cut you off, chef. You
Okay.
can do so many things with it, but we have to get to our commercial break.
Then make the
So-
consommé.
Next up,
Good
uh,
advice.
Next up, how to make a weeknight version of cassoulet on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
You can see Sean is coming around and giving him the timing.
Terry
signal.
can't see that.
Oh, I did see that. Oh, sorry to
We
wrap it up.
fortunately have a very good editor at Cairo who puts it so nicely together.
Another Sean.
For broadcast, another Sean, which I been meaning to get you to listen to the show because he has upgraded the music so much and he matches it to the theme. Like last
Oh,
week
wow.
I was laughing my brains out for Annie's fuss section, and then he had a Brussels sprout song when we were doing vegetables. It's like so funny.
Awesome.
He's gonna have a soup song. I don't know a soup song.
He'll find one.
So, where did you read the hack? Did you read the hack on cassoulet somewhere?
Yeah.
Because I'm not convinced on that thing, but
Weeknight casserole, canned beans, sausages, Ritz crackers. I love Ritz crackers.
are you serious?
Instead of breadcrumbs?
Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah,
Just through a little bit.
we're gonna let you do that.
Okay, it's the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. It's good to look out in the audience and see some mimosas in the house. That's
I
always,
know.
that's always a fun way to start the day. Pamela, you have insisted that Chef Terry get out of his comfort zone
Yes.
and try to think about making a classic French winter dish called cassoulet without taking maybe the
5 days.
Is that what typically is that?
Yeah.
Is that because you?
No, it takes 3
Well,
days.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not
Sorry.
exaggerate.
Okay,
That's bad
sorry.
enough. 3 days.
So
That's commitment.
tell us some of the hacks that you found, and then let's see if it makes Terry come around or if he runs screaming out of the studio.
Oh no.
Oh no no.
In 52, Don Perry wrote an article about weeknight cassoulet, wanting the satisfaction of that salty, porky combo with beans and then a crunchy top. And I've looked at cassoulet. I wanted to make it for New Year's Eve, but it was like, yeah, just buying all the 4 different kinds of pork products and confying the duck. It's like, let's
there-
have soup.
Let's have broth soup.
Let's have a
Let's
broth.
have plain broth for
Let's
New
have
Year's
some
Eve.
broth instead. So the hack was sausages,
You buy pre-made sausage.
canned beans, keeping the jus of the bean, the traditional powerful onion, celery, carrot mix, and then top with Ritz cracker.
He's still
That
sitting.
was-
He's
that
still
was-
sitting in his chair.
That was the
Could
the-
you eat
that,
that?
that Ritz cracker you can have. So far, I was following you more or less. Yeah, I get the gist of what they're trying to do. But there is main ingredient that's not in there, which is duck.
The duck. Oh,
Duck
yeah,
confit,
yeah.
So okay. So there is many ways to get around everything. I mean, if you want to cheat, this is a great cheater. Call D'Artagnan, D'Artagnan, and order your cassoulet from D'Artagnan.
So that's your hack.
That's my hack.
That's your hack.
Hello.
Or
you've
if
got-
you want to go closer to home, call Daisley over at Cafe Campagna.
Exactly, have it
and he'll
delivered.
deliver it to you
On the
in
bicycle.
the pot on the bicycle. Yeah,
I mean, those are.
Truly,
that's what he did during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. I'm sure.
Oh, is he still?
I think he's still doing the.
Anyway, you
So
don't have to call D'Artagnan.
I will follow your footstep on using either frozen or canned beans, because I think it's
What
one
kind
way.
of bean, chef?
I would say just regular white navy bean.
White navy beans. Okay.
Those are probably the closest to the original bean from Tarbes bean. So that's a one. Two, the pork, I would just use some uncured bacon.
So why do you say uncured? Because that's not something people have. Why not this regular
You
smoked
can find it
bacon?
in every store today.
Okay.
You can find it.
I know you
everywhere.
can buy it. I was just
Yeah.
curious why you.
Oh man, if you don't have uncured, just use.
Because
I would-
to
because
me,
I'm
the
tr-
smokiness would be a nice addition.
Yeah, but I'm not as keen on the most bacon that's cured is not, to me, doesn't give the same flavor.
Okay. All
It's a different flavor. I'm not looking for that.
Okay.
So uncured bacon, and cut it as big as possible in terms of, not as big as possible, thick is what I'm trying to say. So you end up with cube, not end up with thin slices of julienne of bacon. You render that gently in a pot. Then you had your small diced carrots and onion and celery, the usual suspects. Then you put in your beans. Then now you have a pork bean stew. That's what you have basically.
it's a good beginning.
The duck leg confit, you buy it, and you can find it in many
I
places.
tell you, I've been buying the one at Ballard Market from
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Farms.
Yeah.
And they sous vide it right in the pack, so you get the juices and you get the extra fat.
That's
correct.
an excellent
and then you
product.
just give it a hard sear and it's done.
Yeah.
Give it a sear in a pan and put it in your bean stew. After you've done the searing, just let it sit in there. And while you're warming up everything, it will add flavor and moisture in the dryness of the duck, if there is any. And then buy a nice, beautiful made sausage.
Let's talk about that for a second. We are lucky enough, Pam and I, to have in our neighborhood the Beast and Cleaver.
Yeah.
With maybe a dozen different kinds of sausages. My inclination would be a sausage de Lyon
Yeah.
sausage or
Sausage.
Toulouse.
Yeah.
As,
Toulouse,
Toulouse
So
would
the
be
di-
kind of perfect,
Yeah,
right?
that would be
And
perfect.
What's the difference, say, between an Italian sausage
Well,
and a
one
Toulouse
is-
sausage?
one is blended more. It's a cut between like a hot dog kind of texture and
a moussy,
and a Italian mild sausage.
Okay.
So that's a texture
without
thing.
the fennel, though, because the Toulouse,
Correct.
yeah.
Without the fennel. So, but my point is, it's more textural than anything else, with a little added southern of France flavor of spice, like fennel. We call that southern France.
Really?
Yeah.
In Toulouse sausage?
Yeah.
Really?
So you have just a little bit of that and sage, rosemary added to it. So, but I mean, the texture is where it's at. So it's right between an Alsatian, in France we would say between an Alsatian sausage for like sauerkraut, the blended,
Yeah.
versus between that and a mild Italian sausage.
So if you think of a hot dog or bologna as kind of a mousse,
Right.
a
It's not.
mousse,
It's not that far.
right? And then you think of a classic Italian sausage as kind of a
Loose.
much bigger grind,
Yeah,
loose
correct.
sausage. So those are the differences.
Right in between
yeah.
those two. And so in the classic cassoulet, you have lamb stew, you have sausage, and
Lamb
you
stew,
have
did you say?
yes,
I
sir.
did
Yeah.
not know that.
And
There's so many meats in it.
well, there is no actual, there is sausage and there is duck leg confit. That's what's in the.
And you said uncured bacon.
So in the cassoulet region of France, there is 3 recipes. One with the 3 items I just told you, one with 2, and one with 1. So, and then the last one is of course the duck. Always the duck.
Always the
Okay,
duck.
so when I've seen it come out, it comes out in a big ceramic or cast iron pot.
Right.
So is it layered? Are you layering the beans?
You're putting you're putting the meat in the bean, and you're putting the breadcrumb on top.
Oh, so it's more like a big bean stew with all the meat,
Correct.
but you leave the duck confit in a chunk, right?
Well, we do that now. Yes, we do. Yes, originally, yes. It's everything is buried in the beans, breadcrumb on top, then finished in the oven so it bakes. So the top is like a little topping,
Uh-huh.
and then all under the broiler, and then you take the beans out, and then you of course pull the meat as you go. So normally in the classic cassoulet, you have a little bit of lamb stew on the bottom, and you have a piece of sausage or sausage, and then you have a duck leg.
Huh.
So it's a pretty meaty, very robust kind of meal.
So when I've had it sometimes, I've rarely had it where I felt like, wow, this is perfect.
Right.
But I've had it often where it comes off a little bit dry.
Right.
And is that because people are not cooking their beans enough to begin with? So they're soaking up everything as it bakes
That's
as
because
a
they
whole?
don't have enough liquids in their bean, period.
So they just need more stock.
Yeah, more stock in the
What
bean.
if the beans start to break down into a paste? Then it's
Well, that's
overcooked,
too
right?
cooked. That's
That's
overcooked,
too
yeah.
cooked,
You don't want the thing about cassoulet is you don't want it underbaked or undercooked, but you don't want it to overcook because if it's puree, now you have a bean puree on your hand and
Yeah,
not
refried bean kind of texture.
yeah. So that's not what you're looking for. But you're not looking for crunchy bean either. So they definitely cook the beans all the way. And the tarbay bean, which is a specialty,
How do you spell that?
Tarbais.
Arbay.
It's the name of a city in France, close to Carcassonne,
Uh-huh.
and which Carcassonne is allegedly the American capital of cassoulet. But the capital of cassoulet that they're fighting for in France is Castelnaudary. That's like this small town, which is supposed to be the
What
original
are they
birth.
fighting about? Who
Well,
gets to
because
be the,
Carcassonne is going to say no, it's us. Toulouse is going to say no, it's us. No, I said everybody's got a little foot in the marketing part. So, but cassoulet is a great dish to go back to our story of how do you make it on a Wednesday night. Well, you can only make cassoulet if you have a duck confit in the freezer or in the fridge, cryovac, like you say. You buy it at Met Market or whatever, one of those stores, and then you can do your cassoulet because if you have some good beans in a can and some or frozen, then you can do all that. But it's all about the flavor and about the timing. So cassoulet does really well. Like most good stew, they do very well if you cure it for a few days. So you make it on Sunday and you eat it on Thursday is a great idea.
that's the hack right there. Make it on the weekend and eat it
Yeah,
later.
exactly. And it's very hard to make. You better have another roast chicken on the stove when you're doing this because making cassoulet and not eat it is really, really
A lot
hard.
of discipline required.
You're watching that thing cook for hours, then you got to put it in the fridge. Hell no, I'm gonna eat it now.
Now, would you say that cassoulet should never be eaten after May 1st and before November 1st?
I say do whatever your belly asks you to do.
Really?
We have
Cassoulet in August is
we have
okay?
two brains. We have one up in the head and one in the tummy. Make sure you listen to the one in the tummy. I mean,
Words
the
to live
reason
by.
Tom is saying this is because it's a very hard, hefty dish, very meaty and very. So obviously, when it's 80 degrees outside, that doesn't come to mind to want to eat that. But in the winter and May here is definitely beautiful, springy. So yes, I'm with you on that.
So that would be then I would say never eat cassoulet after May 1st and before November 1st, personally.
Right? Never is a big word, Tom.
Yeah.
I've seen some very bad
Whether
weather
it's
in
a
June.
weeknight hack or whether it's a 5-day process, in my mind, it's a winter dish. Okay, when we come back, we do tons of classes here at the Hot Stove Society, and one of the most popular is pizza to make at home.
Pizza at home.
Pizza at home.
People can't get enough of it.
I know it's just, and it seems like it should be perfect and easy to do, but it's not. On Cairo Radio, that's up next. 97.3 FM. Why don't you should do that out loud so that
I'm laughing. It was 1 minute, a minute ago.
how do we do? Right on the time, you said.
He's very kind over there, Sean. Sean, very nice, very nice. All right. Pizza. I'll tell you how you make a good pizza. You buy the crust from Domino's. That's how I make pizza at home.
We don't sell them anymore.
You don't? Oh, I still have some in my freezer. Oh, cool. Should I just hang on to it and frame it? Why you stop?
This wasn't enough to make it worthwhile to keep a full-time person. We were doing
People-
about 500 a week, and it's just, we were making a bucket crust. 'Cause you can't
Yeah,
sell
no,
them for what?
of course,
yeah.
of course. How come?
So $500
I'm
a week is-
surprised. Not enough advertising, marketing, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a very, yeah. I think it's a product that needs marketing for sure.
It needs branding. And
Yeah.
We tested it. You can't really afford to go down that road until you test it. And see.
Right.
We learned a lot.
Oh, I'm surprised. That was such a great product.
Tanaka, what's going on? This is my partner, Eric Tanaka.
Yay!
He's doing some road work outside in his orange jacket.
Somebody's got to do it, Tim.
What are you riding the bike?
Bye.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at the booth?
We have one. Oh, yeah.
No, not the website.
No, not the website.
Got all kinds of-
That's so much recommended. We're like,
How is breakfast? You guys are eating breakfast? Is good? Is that a baked egg? Is that what you're having? Looks good.
And we're back. We're in the Hot Stove Society kitchen in the beautiful Hotel Andra.
Man, we got them live audience today.
Look
Well,
at
that's
their
'cause
hands.
they're all eating. They're eating their toast, and I see a little
Even with a
arugula out
mouthful, they're
there,
applauding. I like
eggs
that.
and mushrooms, and it's a big day here at the Hot Stove. Chef, let's elevate some pizza. And if you could, Pam, would you get Chef Annie out here real quick for me, if you could find her? Thank you. We at the Hot Stove, we offer pizza at home classes, and people love it. And they come and they make their pies and they take them home with them. And
Ridiculous how popular that is.
I understand. Hey, Annie. Annie is our director here. Will you get on the mic here and tell us what the number one questions are that people have when they try to make good pizza at home? Because I have my things that I would say.
They would ask what temperature oven and do they need a pizza stone or not?
So that's the first questions.
Yeah.
And yes, the
Yes.
hottest you can go in your oven.
Yes.
Yes, on the pizza stone.
Yes.
Or steel. I have a pizza steel.
Yeah. Well, here we also do like half sheet tray or like cookie sheet. We
Uh-huh.
flip it over,
Uh-huh.
and that could be really, really hot. But you need like kind of a thicker commercial grade, not like
Yeah.
the really thin one where you get, I don't know, the cheap stuff. You get a Ross or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Can't you?
You
I
buy
mean,
your pizza pans at Ross?
Isn't it
Not me.
better? Isn't
Ross
it?
is called Ross Dress for Less.
Well,
Isn't it better if you use cast iron, like a cast iron pan upside down
Then
in
an
your oven?
upside down sheet pan, I think, but most people don't have. Well, you could use, like, if you have a big cast iron griddle, you can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just because
And the darker, the better. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
The blacker the pan, the better. Because
You don't want limpy crust.
No,
You want crust that can hold up on its own when you hold the pizza slice.
exactly. All right. Thank you, Eddie.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
So I would say for me, and we just made pizza in 2 days ago. Whatever flat surface you can get it into your oven at the highest temperature possible. And if you happen to have convection, leave it on.
Right.
Even at 500, leave it on.
And explain why.
Convection, because it runs hotter because of the air movement than regular ovens. And
Keeps things even.
like in our pizzerias that we run our oven close to 600 degrees. In pizzerias like Tribunale or
That's higher than that.
Cabela, they're at 800 and some
Right,
degrees.
right.
That's too hot for me because I don't get my dough cooked all the way through. That's important as
Right.
far as what I want as a finished product. But anyway, so at home, a really dark cast iron pan or pizza stone or pizza steel,
Right.
And as hot as you can get it is the best place to get started.
I have a 14-inch or 16-inch round stone in my oven. It's always in there. I use so the lower shelf has the stone, higher shelf doesn't, in case I need to cook, two different things
Right.
at once. But the stone is always there because it doesn't hurt one way or the other. It's good to have an oven that has a very, very hot bottom.
But I would say if you're cooking pizza at home in a home oven, you want to elevate it to the top of your oven. That's
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
the hottest in your
Absolutely.
oven. Yeah. But if you're just keeping the stone in your oven, it helps keep temperature steady in your oven.
Correct.
Even if you're making cookies or braising something. Or
Yeah, my 1952 Roper is only off by 25 degrees, which
Degrees.
is, and I
Awesome,
know it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, awesome. Next thing,
Joe,
dough.
now that's
what I was reading was it shouldn't be cold when you start working with it. So
Correct.
Tell
You
me
wanna
more
temper
about
your
that.
dough.
How do you
So-
how do you temper it?
So you have your dough mixed, and you can choose your own variety of dough. I like to keep it in the fridge for a day or two to let it kind of work, and then I pull it out onto the counter for a half hour. I have made in the fridge. I make it in the dough balls.
Mhm.
So when I pull it out, it's already in dough balls, and I pull it and I let it temper on the counter. So I let it come up to room temperature, and then I work it. But the key is you work it on the peel. If you don't have a peel, you know what a peel is?
I have one.
Peel is that kind of big blade that you see in pizzerias, right?
wood or metal.
Wood or metal, and you put your cornmeal down or your semolina down, and you put your crust out on the peel so that it's ready to be loaded. Uh-oh.
Don't hit him with
Julie's
it,
going to
Julie.
spank me with a peel here. If you don't have a peel, do it on a piece of parchment paper.
Right.
Because then you can just move that pizza crust all the way around. Even if the dough sticks to the parchment, once it's cooked halfway, you can move it around.
Right.
Yeah. And then just put the parchment right in the oven with the pizza, and halfway through, pull the parchment out.
Because it
it'll
will
loosen up.
flame.
Yeah, it can flame at that temperature.
At 600 degrees, it will.
My reading was that you should never use a rolling pin on the dough. It should always manually stretch it. Why would that be?
I don't know
so
why that
important?
is, but I will tell you, it's sexy to stretch pizza dough. It has just a great silky feel about it. And I run it across my fist. I don't use my fingers. I use my fingers to kind of get it to a round that I want. And then I start to run it over my fist. And I just stretch it with the top of my knuckles and just let the dough kind of curl around my hands.
Use gravity.
Use gravity. And then you just simply take your hands and turn them over, put the dough onto your parchment or onto your peel.
Yeah.
Just turn your fist right over. So they've been upright to stretch, then turn them over with the dough on and then I have a phobia. I don't like round pizza.
I know.
No round pie.
I know why.
No round
I know
pie.
why.
No round pie. Why is that?
Because you can't make it round. That's how you get the
Maybe
phobia.
that's how
you get the phobia because you're like, this thing sucks. I'm never gonna make it. Pizza round is
So
stupid.
then you work with what you got. And
Exactly.
You cherish the
Pizza-
non-round pie.
It's not the most important part is not the round part. That of course is a craft that many pizza makers have, and it's beautiful when they do it. They twirl that pizza in the air, and it makes a beautiful circle and
Yeah.
beautiful round. But yeah, don't fight the energy of making it round
Right.
for making it better. So that's like use your energy on focusing on doing it right
Right.
in thickness, in heat, and in flavor. It's also the next thing is we're going to talk about is the topping. Don't put the whole refrigerator in there.
That's true. So my dough is now on my parchment or my peel.
Uh-huh.
I now slather it with garlic and olive oil.
Right.
I will spoon on either tomato sauce if I'm going to go tomato, or just build from there. And then
Lightly.
huh?
Lightly.
So for a 12-inch oblong pie, you probably want 4 ounces of tomato sauce,
Mhm.
maybe 5.
Right.
And just spread it out thin and all that.
Pizza is a flavored bread. Think of that.
Lesson of the day.
It's a flavored bread. It's not a dish. It's not a main course.
It is
It's-
amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa,
boy.
whoa, whoa. Whoa,
Wait
back
a
off,
minute.
pal. So now we got our sauce on. We've got our olive oil, our garlic. We're going to put on light toppings, good cheese. Use less cheese, but better cheese,
Exactly.
right?
And use
Pop-
the melting cheese.
Pop it in the oven. Well, you don't necessarily have to because you can cheese when it's 80% cooked so that when you put it back in the oven, it just warms the cheese.
True. If you use
Uh,
fresh curd, you
And
need.
that's
I
important.
like that. You do that at Serious Pie, right?
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
yeah,
The cheese is a late addition. It's not
Right.
at the beginning
correct.
of the cooking
Depending
time.
on the pie, but yes, you are correct.
Correct.
Like we don't never put Reggiano in the oven, right? We simply grate it over top after
Yes.
the pizza comes
Yeah.
out.
And
Yeah.
the explanation is it's too hot, so the fats break down.
Right.
You end up with this
Gets
You
oily
spend
pizza.
$20 a pound on cheese and then you break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other things? We got to wrap this up.
No, just make sure you invite me if you do a good pizza.
And if you really want a hands-on version of that, go to hotstovesociety.com and you can sign up for one of our pizza classes. Super fun. Right here with Annie Elmore. We're going to welcome Sarah and Dane McCormick of McCormick Jam Company into the next hour, along with things like food for thought, tasty trivia, maybe.
And question from the audience.
I've been on vacation. I don't know that I'm sharp enough for trivia. I might have to take a pass today. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Jamming. We're jamming around. We're jamming.
Hey, Pam.
That's gonna be an easy intro song on that one. We're jamming. We're jamming. We're jamming. We're jamming. No, 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 no.
Perfect combo.
Jamming. I got the song already. Jamming.
Jamming. I know he'll pick that.
That's gonna be
Did
awesome.
you say there's no central place to find out who's doing this World Central Kitchen benefit?
It'll be on our website today.
On our website today. So I want to get that plug in one more time.
Yeah.
Is Mamnoon in this too?
Who?
Mamnoon, because I saw something from their website, their newsletter. They were doing relief for Syria, but that wasn't. I don't remember seeing Central Kitchen with that. You guys having fun yet? All right, we're done. Just kidding. What is this? No, nobody works on Friday anymore. Good for you. Ah, I didn't think of that. That's what it was.
Yeah. They're so well seasoned
Okay, I
that they can handle any topic.
This is a question that my girlfriend and I always do back and forth on.
Okay, that's what.
How many of you are going to the Flower and Garden
A few
Show?
minute break. If anybody wants to say their questions out loud now, we can. We're not going to get to them all. So
So is almond flour really better for you than the normal flour?
So the question, Chef, is almond flour better for you than normal flour?
Well, it's not. Almond flour is just ground almond.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're looking for almond flavor, yes, it's very good to have in a cake. It's better for you in the fact that if you have an issue with gluten and all that, obviously it's a much better product.
But it,
It won't
doesn't do
hurt
the
you.
same thing, right?
But it's a complete different thing, meaning that flour has this flavor and almond has this flavor. So you have to have a purpose to use it in that context.
And for baking, like with baking
It doesn't rise. It
Doesn't rise, yeah.
Yeah, it needs help.
Yeah, it's still dense. It's
Yeah.
like it made brownie really for this.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
some
but
people
they're
like that
probably
texture
delicious.
too. So, anybody else
mean-
have a question they want to ask while we're waiting for our jam guest?
Any questions?
What?
I said navy beans for the cassoulet.
Is there a French bean that we could have a little bit more?
Tarbay bean was the one.
Tarbay, do they come in cans?
No, they come from the only place I know that makes them, grow them is in California, the ranch. The bean ranch. Forgot the name of it now. I would say in a can.
The navy beans in the can are going to break apart real easy.
Right, they're all
so
going to break.
You
So
got to be careful not
I
to
would say
overcook
use.
that.
There is a brand I use, but I can't remember the brand of it.
El Ranchero?
No, it's Italian brand.
Progresso? Cannellini
No,
beans?
that's not Italian. Progresso is American.
Anybody else have a question while we're taking a little break here?
Yeah. if we
All
do
right.
those.
Okay, YouTubers, this is all you.
They would like to know what you guys think of meat-free alternative fast food. You guys have touched on that earlier show.
So the question is, Chef, what do we think about meat-free alternatives in fast food? So like the Impossible Burger
In fast food or
in fast food, like yeah.
oh yeah, no, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Personally, I don't eat fast food, so I mean I wasn't raised with it, so I don't have a need for it. I've used the analogy many times that I could be starving to death and walk in front of Jack in the Box, and that would still not trigger any food memory. I would still walk by and go, I still need to look for a quiche.
That we would not be on the same page there. So
But my answer to you is, I think that if it's good alternative, if it's not crummy alternative, if it's good vegetarian alternative, yes, absolutely, 100%. It cannot
I'm not
hurt.
so keen on it because to me that manipulation and the fact that it's still meat, you're calling it meat and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure that it achieves all the goals. But
the
that's
reason that
that's
I'm
just
for
me.
it is because I think that in fast food there is a lot of non-food involved, which is where I would say that vegetable, at least we know what they are. So if you treat them correctly,
Yeah. So I think a better alternative for me would be making a mushroom and black bean burger.
yeah.
Or even
well, that's what I'm talking about.
even if you're trying to wean yourself off of meat, going 20% mushroom and then ground beef. Okay, one more before we get going.
Fuel source for cooking steak, gas, wood, or charcoal.
Fuel source for cooking steak, gas, wood, or charcoal.
Well, obviously, charcoal is a good, wood is a good, actually, if you can get good wood to cook it and you have a barbecue outside to do it, that's awesome. Cast iron is my next bet for indoor. And if you don't have a space for that.
So what you're saying though is if you're down to a gas grill, you'd prefer to go might as well
Cast
go into
iron.
cast iron
Yeah.
so you can get that crust a little
Correct.
bit better. Yeah.
I'm looking for heat. When I'm cooking a steak, I want searing. A steak is usually no more than an inch and a half. I want some searing on my meat because that's the best part of the steak. The best part of any seared meat is not the inside, but the outside.
Right. Which is why I find the fact that filet mignon is so popular.
Right.
Because you get this big 2-inch thick steak with a sear on two sides, but a completely unseasoned raw center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Agreed.
been I always say when I go out to a restaurant and the filet is the only choice, I always have them butterfly it and so that I could have two
Yeah.
mini fillets.
Ask for tournedos or medallions
Yeah.
instead of a big chunk of beef. Yep.
All right.
You guys ready for this? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
So can you listen to me for a second? Listen to me. Listen to me. You hear the difference? So you have to get right up tight to the mic.
Yeah.
Like right here.
And
closer
when
to
you
it.
answer, just scoot over and answer. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Sounds
we
good.
go. Can you hear me?
No, I don't
Can we
hear.
hear
Is there a mic on?
Probably.
I don't
Just
hear them
close
in the
mic
over.
like that.
Say something.
Testing.
Oh, there we
okay.
go. That's good. That's exactly what
I
we
like how
want.
she would.
Sounds good.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Gotcha.
Pamela, your show sheets are so good.
Wow.
She always makes a picture of how she envisions us. She thinks I'm a clown, a joker.
They're Mardi Gras masks.
No, Tom that went right over Tom.
It is
Tom,
Mardi
it's
Gras
a
week.
mask. Mardi Gras. Bal masqué.
Sarah and Dane, we're going to talk a little bit about forming a business and all the process that you went through and kind of figuring that out in the first segment. Then in the second segment, we're going to talk about the jams themselves. So people will have a chance to try them all out here, and so will we in between segments. Bummer, man.
Is McCormick your real last name?
Yes, McCormick.
It's nice. Did you guys ever ask you if you do spices too?
Oh yes, all the time.
Yes,
I would
no
be-
royalties.
I would
no
think
royalties.
that would be number one question. Are you guys related?
We get that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't at least gotten a letter of cease.
Yeah.
Like, we're not McCormick.
Cease or desist.
Yeah, but no, it's all family based. You know, it's
Oh,
like
stop.
no, okay, sorry.
He hates when we don't get the good gems recorded.
I'm ready to roll. You know.
You just wanted that wet feeling of Hawaii.
Since you picked them out.
How's your computer?
All good. Welcome back to the Hot Stove Society Kitchen on Cairo. This is hour number 2. Or if you're podcasting us, this is segment number 5.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of people do that apparently. A lot of people also like the idea of maybe starting their own business. We found this in the whole COVID pandemic, is that many people started their own kind of home businesses.
Right.
And I don't know that that's the case with our next guest, but Pamela, how did you find these folks?
We got a very genuine and enthusiastic email from Dane talking about their company, because I either go out and solicit guests or guests come to us. And
Mhm.
his note was so sweet and genuine. I said, I have to meet these people.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at the website, and there's a wonderful tribute to how they do their sourcing. So they're a great fit for us. I can't wait to learn more.
Thank you.
Well, and we're going to learn more from Sarah and Dane McCormick of McCormick Jam Company. And so welcome to the Hot Stove Kitchen.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Tell us about how you got started, and then were you always a jam lover?
Well, when I first met Dane, his mother, he would take me over to his house, and she would just have all these boxes of all these fresh berries that she picked, and she'd be making jam for her kids that were little at the time. And I was just so intrigued. I was always eating the berries, and when I was a kid, I used to always go pick blackberries all the time. And so I was just like, wow, where do you get all these berries? And I'm like, babe, we should go do this together. And so finally, like, we never got a chance to it. We were always so busy. And finally, one summer after we got married, we're like, we're going to go pick berries. We're going to do this. And so we just had all these different kinds of berries. I mean, we were sourcing all these strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, apples. And we're like, let's make some jam like your mom. And we had all these jams, and we're like, maybe we should think about starting a business. And so we started practicing more. We started reaching out to more fruit, and we realized that we don't really like white sugar. We wanted to make the jam a little healthier. And so we thought, raw sugar, but we're like, how can we make this more unique in us? And we've always loved honey. And so we thought we should include some honey in it. And so we started playing around with recipes, making them our own. And sure enough, the jam was just amazing. And we had to share it with our community. And we started super small, doing little events here in Duval. And we just started getting bigger and bigger. And then once the pandemic actually happened, because we started in 2018, after the pandemic happened, I mean, people just started wanting to support more farms. And we honestly just started thriving more during the pandemic. It was amazing.
Well, and to be honest, she's amazing at everything she does. So I was like really excited.
You're going to go a long way, brother.
Well, I'm obsessed. We've been together for 12 years, and I'm obsessed with everything she creates. And so we wanted to find something that she was really truly appreciated with, and so we just got really obsessed with our berries. And next thing you know, she creates this product, and I love my sales. I get excited about that. So being able to have something that she wouldn't get burnt out on, was just really important to us. So we found something that she's a machine. She just makes she makes, a couple hundred jars easily a day and stuff when we're in the kitchen. And it started out as a cottage food business that we got our, license that allows us to cook at home.
Right.
And that was great up until the point to where we were just, inundated with mass amounts of jam and everything. So
We grew out of that license very quickly.
yeah.
So as of this year, we actually upgraded to a food processor license, which is even better because with that license, we're able to be on store shelves, which we could finally share more of our product now with not only just our small community, but even with stores now. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we utilize a awesome community kitchen in Burien through Discover Burien, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's put on
Sorry,
by the.
you said Discover Billion. That was
Yeah. Well, and it's a great opportunity to show off how they showcase everybody's small businesses, and they promote the wonderful businesses in Burien that we grew up in that community and stuff. And so now, because of this business, we've been able to start a family. She quit her job. We have 2 little ones because of this. Our business is almost 5 years old, and our daughter is 4 and our son is 2. So this was really allowed us to be able to live that dream that we wanted,
Can
So,
Right.
the kids eat the jam?
Oh,
they
the
lo-
kids love the
Yes.
jam.
our-
And they get so excited when we bring all the fruit home. They go out and help us pick and source. It's such a fun adventure for all of us.
well, and our little daughter, Adelie, she sets up a farmer's market stand every couple of nights.
Oh, does she? Good.
And she at home, and so she puts together whatever fruit we have in the house, some cool toys that she has. She tries to sell me on them, and it just it gets my heart so warm.
Yeah. that's nice. So imagine all the folks listening out there and thinking about, well, maybe I'd like to start a business like this because my pancake batter is like the best. That's how people feel, right? So, any pitfalls you would steer people around that you came across in your 5 years?
Oh, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. We're actually, his stepmom, Tony, she's actually starting her own cookie business with the cottage food. Because since we started with cottage food, we're really trying to just put it out there with all of our friends that make amazing products, just anything. We're like, especially if it's food related, we're like, look into the cottage food licenses, like get your product out there. Everyone would love to, you'd love to share it with everyone. Everyone would love to try it. We get really excited
So
about
start
our friends
small.
and family. Yeah, just
Yeah.
start small, do what you love, do little tiny markets here and there,
Be
even doing little
ambitious.
pop-ups. Yeah, just go out and talk to people, go ask. If you see something you like, go up to someone and say hi and ask how they've done it.
A lot of people can't do that. You act like that's
It's
such
scary.
an easy.
It is
easy
scary.
thing to
It's
do.
very scary. But it's
No,
funny,
but
just little
I'm with you.
conversations.
Yes, it is scary, but I mean, this is America. This is the only place in the world where you can
Yeah.
actually do this and make it happen.
Yeah, because honestly,
You have
I'm
to
actually
realize
one
that.
of those people at markets. I love when people come up to me and ask how I've done it. Like, ask me all the questions you want. Some people love to hear it.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's fantastic. So,
I do a lot of jams every year. I mean, Tom has been the recipient of it. He doesn't eat them, but anyway, I do a lot of jams and vinegars, and it's project that you have to account for in your life. But we live in one of the best places in the world to get best berries. And we have beautiful berries and wild, or go to Upick Farm in Duval, Monroe, whatever. I go pick my blueberry in Monroe, and all those different places. But we have very lucky to have all this beautiful product, and it's not that expensive, and it's a commitment. And once you buy all the jars, make your friend bring it back or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the point is, it's not that complicated to do a day dedicated to canning.
Not hard.
all right,
at
when we
all.
come back, let's talk about that. Where do you get your fruit? How do you source it? You're now in more of a commercial kitchen. What changed there? And some of the flavors that you've developed would be nice. Our audience has all got little tasty plates of jam out there. We want to hear more about that on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show. We're talking with Sarah and Dane McCormick of McCormick Jam Company on 97.3 FM.
One down, one to go. Delicious. Is this apple?
Apple pie, there's strawberry balsamic, raspberry, and we have our newest one, the tangerine marmalade. And then we have
That's the first one I tried.
We have an apricot jalapeno.
Where'd you get your tangerine from?
We actually, that's our only out-of-state fruit. We get our all of our citrus from Cotton Lake.
Okay, I'll ask you that on the air.
What was that?
I'll ask you that on the air.
Sounds good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, just take it.
Of course, you need to. That's your spiel.
So let's
No.
make sure we focus more on the local food.
Yes.
But I do want to hear
yeah.
about
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that last.
at the end. It's really delicious.
Thank you. So we
I'm
love,
a
we
big,
love
I'm
our
a big, I
locals.
make lemon and I make bitter orange. I love bitter orange, like
Oh,
Corsican orange kind of idea.
yeah, we do an orange marmalade too. We just didn't bring that
I know it's
one.
not very American to do bitter because American jam, they don't think bitter,
Mhm.
but bitter orange.
Oh, we do a beer.
We do a beer jelly. We actually brought that too. We just didn't have enough time to add it on the
Right,
plate,
right.
but that's there too if you guys want to try it.
I think it's delicious. You can jam just
I wish
about.
I could fit all 24 flavors.
I know.
You have 24 flavors.
Yes.
Actually over 24 now. Yeah, we just
So do
added
you
the
want?
tangerine.
Do you ever? That's a side question. But as a business, do you find that you have to have an inventory that's a bit lower to be more efficient and more profitable, or is it more and more and more and more and more?
It's more and more.
Okay. Really?
Yes. Like
So do you run out of a line, or do you keep everything?
usually we run out and then we supplement. Like last year, we supplemented by making marmalade and getting that
Right.
tree ripened citrus.
So you run out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, we
start with
run out.
you start with 24 flavors,
Because we
and you
try
end
to
up with
stock up with the seasons as they go.
Great.
We'll try to stock up fruits. So whatever we make and sell out, it's just sold out until next season of
Right.
fruits available.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
When I really was like excited because I stocked ourselves up with so much fruit this year that we're able to like really we're almost out of our fruit for the season. You know, so it's pretty exciting.
So when you
But
get
our timing is good that we can do 10 minutes
when you get
of
the food,
audience
do you freeze
questions.
it? Is that what you do?
without
Or
being
do
on the
you?
air.
Yeah. Cut, wash, freeze.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So
All right, here we go, chef.
I like
Just tell me if you have anything.
We're back. It's Hot Stove Society. Right. We're coming to you from the Hotel Andra, downtown Seattle. If you're down in our neighborhood, 4th and Virginia,
jamming away.
we're jamming away. And I also want to remind people on, is it the February 22nd? It's a
Yep.
Wednesday. Next week, we are, as a restaurant community all over town, and you can find this information on our website later today, but we're getting together to donate 20% of our proceeds or profits. I'm not sure if one or the other, for some earthquake relief over there in Turkey and Syria. I know the number is over 40,000 now, and it's just such a
Unbelievable.
tragedy that's going on over there. There's so much damage that you can't even find people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's-
Jose
it's-
Andres from the World Kitchen is already there,
Yep.
feeding people as much as he can, as much as they can, and
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
well equipped for that. So it's to support his cause.
So
yeah,
look us up.
make a reservation Wednesday, the 22nd, in any restaurant in Seattle that participates in raising funds, and you will be helping the cause.
I'm sure the list is growing. There's at least 40 on the list that I'm looking at right now, and I bet that list is
More
growing
coming every day.
by the
Yeah.
minute. So, okay, we're going to jump right back in with Sarah and Dane McCormick of McCormick Jam Company for 2 full segments today. Our second one is right now. We talked a little bit about how you created your business, maybe some ideas that could help other people do the same. Not necessarily jam. We want to stay out of the jam market. But cookies or pancake batter.
bring it on.
Bring it on. Oh, Dane is very competitive.
I like this. He's not worried.
You can take my spot in the trivia today because I'm not feeling it today. So. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the places you get your fruit and then how you decide on what flavors to make.
Okay, well, yeah. So our best seller is our strawberry balsamic jam. It tastes like a fresh strawberry right off the field with a 25-year barrel-aged balsamic vinegar that really elevates what is normally an overly sweet strawberry jam to a fresh out the field strawberry taste. So therefore, we love using it with
You're a
like.
salesman, buddy.
Oh man, I
He
love it.
is.
I get fired up,
Got it in
which you
his
can
blood.
find us at the Fremont Sunday Market every Sunday and everything. But yeah, so our strawberry balsamic jam, she'll incorporate into a vinaigrette for a salad. She'll put it over a meatloaf. We do a smoked meatloaf that is delicious.
Mhm.
Also, our raspberry jam is like our traditional. Everybody loves a good raspberry jam, and she'll
It's
actually
dynamite. Yeah, I just
Oh,
had it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
And
good.
the raspberries we get from what was it? Spooner Farms. Sorry. And then the strawberries that we get are Puget Crimson strawberries from Duras Farms over in Kent.
Mhm.
Really wonderful family. And then our all of our peaches, apricots, and nectarines are from Lateral Roots Farm over in Wapato. Same connection as Metropolitan Market for their Peach-O-Rama peaches.
Mhm, mhm.
That's right near our farm over
Yeah,
there.
those
too.
are delicious.
Yeah, and then The blueberries are from Blueberry Glen Farm in Duval. There's 9 heirloom varieties all in the mix, all planted before 1950. And then, oh yeah, and the apples we get are from Wenatchee.
So then how do you decide? You got all this fruit,
I-
and you could just make raspberry jam, make apple jam, or
Well,
do jelly or whatever.
I treat it like wine sourcing the fruit. I go out and before I buy any fruit, I go bring out my refractometer and I check for the bricks, which is the fermentable sugar
Sure.
content. And so it's got to be well above market standards for me to buy it. And luckily we work with these wonderful small farms that put so much love into everything they do. Because like you said, Washington has the best farms, in my opinion. That there's so much love involved in it.
Okay, so then how do we get the flavor profiles? Sarah, is that your job?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, raw sugar and honey, there's something about those flavors together that just like really bring out what fruit really should taste like. I mean, with white sugar, I've noticed like it's just overly sweet and the fruit really doesn't come out. It just tastes like overly like soaked in sugar fruit. And the natural sugar that the honey brings out, jam tastes like it's supposed to taste, just fresh fruit, not too sweet. You really just taste the purity of the fruit.
When you want to be able to use it with like meats and seafoods as well. So, like for example, our citrus, we do a lemonade marmalade with Meyer lemons, and then we also do blood orange marmalade with all tree ripened citrus from a small family farm in Arizona, Surprise, Arizona, Cotton Lane Citrus Farm. And we use that with like salmon. She'll do a little Dijon mustard, dill, a little extra lemon juice, and some brown sugar. And
Because
put
of
that
savvy
over the
cooks.
display.
Savvy.
Oh man,
We're working on some recipe books in the coming future.
I work really hard to try not to fluff up too much during the winter. So
We all do.
I'm assuming you mean putting on weight.
I'm trying not to.
Other people consider fluffing a different.
Okay.
So you have apple pie. Almost always you see apple jelly, right?
Yeah.
It's rare to actually see an apple jam.
Mhm.
So tell us about that.
Actually, that idea came from our friends, Lovely and Dapper Desserts, who have a cake company,
Mhm.
and they did an apple pie cake that for when they first started, because they started in September. So of course, September, it's apple season.
Sure.
So they
Yep.
made something with apples. And then the next year when we were friends and stuff, they asked if I could do an apple jam instead of them doing an apple pie filling to save them some time. And I was more than happy for that challenge. So I went out, I found some apples, and because at first I've done this before, but I didn't like the way I did it. It was more just like an overly thick applesauce. And so I was like, I need to do something different. And so I chopped them up instead of cooking them down, and apple pie came about, and it's more of a apples preserve instead of a jam, if you will.
Yeah, no, I like
Do you
that
ever use
texture.
the steamer? What's that thing? The steamer that produces the juice of the apple? Like
I
did-
actually don't.
I have
do
a machine that does that, and I tried it once, and it was pretty cool. The flavor that comes
Yeah.
out is awesome for jam, for jelly. I mean,
Oh,
or
yeah,
for-
I've seen those on TV. Those look really interesting.
yeah, they're very inexpensive and they're easy, good tool to use.
Yeah.
So it's good to have friends that have fruit, but you also apparently have friends that make beer.
Yep.
Because in front of me, I have the Snoqualmie Maybe beer jelly, which is a Carly Rae Jepsen reference.
No Boat Brewing Company. Actually, I don't know.
No, I meant
Oh,
the
the
she's a
song.
singer.
So
Yes.
Call Me Maybe. Come
Yes.
Call
on.
me maybe.
Yes. Well, no, so Snoqualmie maybe is I'm
Give
sorry.
me a
I
little
know.
props there.
Wow,
Come on.
that was good. Well, so it's a locally made beer from No Boat Brewing Company with it's a locally made beer with a kind of a citrusy IPA with a little orange juice and lemon juice. So it's really wonderful with like beer chicken. That's what we do instead of that. So we put that all over with some herbs and spices. Any smoked cheese plate is amazing with it. And then I'll incorporate it into like an aioli for a cheeseburger that's really tasty as well. So it's a really fun, versatile, different one.
Mhm.
Like any beer lover is like, oh man, that is really awesome and refreshing and stuff too. So it's a really fun one.
What other ones do you feel like you hit a home run with, Sarah?
Well, it's funny, that apple pie you were talking about, that one's a fun one for sweet and savory.
Mhm.
I really like doing like little apple turnovers with it. Of course, it's good. Biscuits, scones, toast, all the above. But I actually do a pork loin with it. I butterfly that out and I rub some of that in there and roll it up with some spices and some Dijon mustard and cook it. And it's just, It is
Dijon
just a
mustard being the
chef's
key
kiss.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dijon
Oh,
mustard
yeah.
with apple.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have some spicy jams as well, which
I
is
know I got a kick on one of the jams that's on
Yeah,
my little taster plate
the
here.
apricot jalapeno. And the
Uh-huh.
apricot jalapeno has red jalapenos in the mix with wonderful tree ripened apricots. And she uses that on pizzas, which you guys were talking about in the last segment. Like, it's a wonderful compliment. She'll do like sauteed onions, some prosciutto, and then like put that over with some goat cheese, of course. I mean, you
Mhm.
got to have a good goat cheese on a
Mhm.
pizza and
Who
stuff.
wouldn't? Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds delicious. Well, you guys love what you do. That you don't have to advertise that. That's very much showing.
Thank you.
Well, and we also we just got accepted into the South Lake Union Farmers Market. We do the Fremont Sunday Market every week. We're at the Burien Farmers Market as well, which is a wonderful little market. And then we're going to be doing the North Bend Farmers Market this year, and we're featured with a wonderful group of small businesses that incorporate us into the recipes too, like the Nook in West Seattle, the one Best Bar in West Seattle uses us in mixed drinks. And then the cake company, Lovely and Dapper, Emily and Drew make wonderful cakes that they feature us in their cakes, and it's such a compliment to what we do. You know,
And can
so-
people find you online? It
Yeah,
sounds like you're in a couple
Facebook,
grocery stores
Instagram,
now.
and our website. We are on the shelf at Aroma Coffee, which is a wonderful small little coffee house in
Uh-huh.
Falls City.
Okay.
And then we'll be on the shelf soon here at B&E Meats and Seafoods in Queen Anne, Newcastle, Burien, and their original location in Des Moines.
So fun.
What's the
Heck yeah.
website?
www.mccormickjamco.com.
Perfect. Sarah and Dana McCormick have been our guests. Go out and check out their jams. They are fantastic. And it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for
Congratulations.
having us.
Pamela, what's up next?
Burning listener questions.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
What about your bee shirt? It's so awesome.
I got it at the Fremont Farmers Market. He
Uh,
makes amazing clothes. They're so comfortable.
As a honey producer,
Of
I mean,
course.
yeah,
I represent.
you got to represent.
I love my bees.
Which we get our honey from Mr. B's in Redmond. So
Any questions for them before we let them go?
You know the guy who delivers bees honey with his bicycle? No, it's a guy in Soto who delivers. He sells to PCC too.
Oh.
I buy it in. I drink a lot of honey.
getting
Yeah.
a good workout in
I
while you're
don't do any
delivering.
sugar, but I do honey.
We love honey.
Sarah, would you talk about what exactly was on the plate?
Yeah, so we have strawberry balsamic, we have raspberry, apple pie, tangerine marmalade, and we have apricot jalapeno. We're not just yet. We are going to do the Delridge grocery.
Yes.
Yes.
Delridge Grocery is going to be our newest addition, along with B&D Meats and Seafood, which is a wonderful, high-end butcher that we've been obsessed with since we were kids.
Mhm.
So it's cool to be able to team up with these people that we're just obsessed with as well. You know, so
Yeah,
they
that's
love
very
us,
cool.
we love them, and then we just make each other look good. You know. Thank
so
you.
much. It was not. That was one I couldn't get to. But if you guys want to try it, I did bring it.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
And I got
Yeah. I'm
We'll
more
put it
than
over
happy
on
to try one.
over by the coffee, and there's some coffee stir sticks over there. If you want to grab one of those, you can take a
And
look.
we
Yeah.
do doorstep, local doorstep delivery within honestly a 30-mile range. We do 3-jar minimums. And I mean, because when we ship it, you never know if it's going to show up whole.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And usually it's also $10 extra.
I like this. You never. You're right.
I never did anything.
Well, because it's glass jar. I
We're
mean,
not at that
you never know.
We just
I
got
get
accepted
some-
into a Lake Union. Lake Union, right?
South Lake.
South Lake Union.
Yes.
And then we're at the Burien Farmers Market. We'll also be at the North Bend Farmers Market, and we're at the Fremont Farmers Market.
Yeah, and the cake company that we work with we share a booth at the Fremont Market. So usually they have a flavor of jam or a cake.
With our jam.
Yeah, this month they do it's an olive oil cake with a lemon curd and our raspberry jam on it. And,
And a
it's
marzipan
delicious.
cream frosting.
Yeah.
That's like one of their birthday cakes.
Okay,
Amazing.
we're gonna get going.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much,
you.
you guys.
I appreciate it.
All the best. All the best. All right, coming up, burning questions.
Ready to go, Pam?
Yeah.
You know, this audience here at the Hot Stove Society show is very active today. And they are burning with desire to have us answer their burning questions. So, Pam, what have you collected out there? And
We're going to go rapid fire so we
Sure.
get to them. And I'd like you to each answer quickly each question.
I
All
think
right.
she's looking at you.
What
Chef.
Yeah, I
is
know.
what is your favorite type of eggs preparation?
Baked eggs.
Baked? Really? Tom?
Crispy edged fried eggs.
Excellent. Do you eat Scandinavian, Norwegian food like fish cakes and fish puddings, or make it?
I eat air dried lamb and lefse.
No. You said rapid fire. Let's go.
What are the best canned beans on the market?
Oh, of course, somebody's gonna ask that. I can't remember the
I
brand.
can't
El,
find
El
that-
Ranchero beans are dried, and they're easy to cook.
El Gordo.
No,
El
canned
Gordo,
beans.
El Gordo, yeah.
PCC.
And I think
there
they
is
have a canned
great,
version.
great canned beans at PCC that I buy all the time, but I can't remember the brand.
Amy's.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I
Thanks
can't.
for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Bolognese sauce. How do I get that creamy texture? Do you use a cream or a milk product, or is it just the pasta water? To
Just the
answers.
pasta water.
Typically, I have found bolognese is cooked with milk, but when you're finishing, you use the pasta water to kind of give you that
Right.
creaminess. But you have to stir. You don't just add the water. You have to stir it
Right.
and bring the starch out of the pasta like you do risotto. Starch out of the rice.
burning question: gas or electric?
Well,
Whoa,
I mean, I've
Very
used gas. I've
timely.
used gas all my life, but look at me. Electric is where it's at. It's where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And actually, that's not true. It shouldn't be just electric. We need to find a new source of heating, because none of these are gonna be safe in the next 50 years, probably. So,
Yeah.
but electric, yes, I think electric is easy to clean. It's clean product to cook with. The problem with gas, then they're starting to discover, which I've claimed, and,
No,
and
we
you know
need
that, Tom, as well as
induction.
I do, then it is not very safe to your lungs, I guess.
So
Where do you weigh in on this?
whatever's in front of me, I can use it all.
Yeah.
No, there's no clear preference other than my mother's stove.
We got to get it hooked up. We were gifted fresh quince, and the gifter suggested making membrillo. We now have tons of it in the freezer.
But you do.
Suggestions for how to use it. They do love it on a sharp cheddar and or brie. Are there other
Oh yeah.
wonderful applications for it?
Just like the McCormick said, you can use it easily to glaze up a pork
A piece of meat, yeah.
roast. You can use it for anything, honestly.
You also can,
Toast, cheese.
you can mix it with a little vodka and makes a great cocktail.
You can also mix it with a little vinegar, and it makes a great vinaigrette.
Absolutely.
Nice. Oh, I love this one. Do you listen to music when you cook? And if yes, what is the type of your favorite music to listen to?
Yes, and it depends on the mood I'm in. It can be jazz, it can be classic, it can be rock and roll, it can be 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s. That's where I stop.
Oh. I listen to music when I cook, and I depends on what my motives are. Like if I'm doing Valentine's dinner,
Yeah, that was jazz.
Then the Big Night. I like the Big Night soundtrack.
Oh, love that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Seattle band or musician that you listen to?
Randy Carlisle.
I'm gonna go with my my reggae man in Fremont. So Clayton
Wow.
Clinton Farron is his name. He's
Does
really
he play
really
at Nectar?
yeah. He's playing coming up soon. Look him up. 73 years old, I think. Sorry, Clinton, if I screwed that up.
Brandy Carlisle is also with her Looking Out Foundation. I noticed doing some Turkey Syria earthquake relief
Is she?
fundraising that she's matching through her foundation. So,
Is she hot as a pistol or
oh
what?
my God!
And all I can say is she was doing okay when we met each other, and after we met each other, she is hot as a pistol.
That's cool.
That must be it.
So was I.
Yeah.
I was doing okay, but then I was doing greater.
Did you see Catherine and the kids introduce
Mhm.
Brandy
Yeah,
at the Grammys?
Oh, spectacular. Catherine.
Yeah, she
Okay.
makes your heart
Oh,
throb.
sorry. Oh, back to the
She's
show.
married. She's a married woman, as you are.
Do you have any entree kid-friendly ideas for Chinese using the Chinese 12 spice rub? Have you ever bought it, Terry?
For a kid?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
It's
go.
not
With,
spicy.
I'm gonna go with chicken.
on
Yeah.
a chicken.
Chicken
Yeah.
fingers or little baby back ribs or.
And by the way, when we say chicken fingers, we mean you're buying chicken breast at least and cutting those into fingers, right?
yeah, and not necessarily deep fried.
Yeah,
But
not
the
different.
12 spice you're referring to is the rub with love.
Yes.
It's in my line of stuff. And my rule of thumb for that is 1 tablespoon of rub, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of honey. And you make a little glaze with that on chicken satay or, any sort of little
Whoa,
kebab.
does it need the honey or just for the stickiness?
Stickiness, yeah. And it
Yeah, 'cause-
caramelizes when you cook it.
Yeah.
I use it on butternut squash 100 times. So good. Just, yeah, and tofu. So it's super versatile. All right, then we're
My
drilling
grandson
down-
Hercules loves tofu, and I feel like I've done something wrong in my life.
We're drilling down on pizza for a minute here. Pizza dough preferences, sourdough or no?
Absolutely so. Oh
Yeah, that's a yes for Terry.
Yeah.
No.
No. Can you elaborate on why no
I just
sourdough?
like it just a plain yeast dough. It doesn't need to be sour.
Yeah, I like sour because I like the flavor of it. Especially if you leave it in your fridge 2-3 days, it gets even sourer kind of idea. I like that.
There you go.
Is there any other when you think of the possible array of flavors of pizza dough?
Only when I look at your face. and then I think cauliflower. Because
Yes.
you love a cauliflower pizza.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a classic. I'm like my mozzarella, tomato, and basil in season. Basil and tomato in season too.
I thought you were talking about doughs.
I was.
Oh,
okay.
sorry. I thought you were talking about the toppings. Sorry. No, I'm good. Sourdough. Make it sour.
Make it sour. And they would like to know what you think of the current Detroit pizza trend.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it went by.
It did what, chef?
It just went right by me.
Oh, there's a
As
shocker.
in, I'm not that. No.
Mr. I'm starving, but I won't stop at McDonald's.
Well, I tried it and I was like, okay, so that's not a pizza anymore.
Yeah. I like it. I like the I have become more interested in Chicago/Detroit style pizza. I know you're not supposed to put the two together, but I used to hate them because to me it was just a pile of rubbish on top of too much crust. Right? It's like the thicker, the
That's
heavier.
exactly
the better,
how I was
right?
trying to describe it.
But now that I've had more classic, what I consider more classic or more intentional Chicago style pizza, it's really not about piling it up with a bunch of different ingredients. It's more about getting the tomato sauce caramelized around the edges, the pizza dough really crusty around the edges, the cheese broken but crispy. And that's, I think of Detroit style pizza being a little bit more like that. And the Chicago style being a little bit more tomato sauce based. And
Yeah, to me, I have had Chicago pizza quite a few times when I was in Chicago, but it
That was
doesn't
50
remind me of a
50
pizza.
years ago, chef.
It's still the same pizza, just so you know. They haven't changed the recipe.
And let's finish with your what your last meal is going to be.
I'm gonna have to go to my mom's favorite, my dish, like that my mom makes, which is pot au feu. So hopefully I die in the winter because in the summer it wouldn't be so appropriate. But
Yeah. Your mom will be sweating up a storm.
well, so will I eating it. But potato, cabbage, turnips, carrots, leeks, boiled with beef tail or beef neck, and that would be my last. And take that broth and stock that with some cracked vermicelli in there, just quickly cooked. Start with the soup. We call that a potage. Start with the potage, and then eat all the meat and the vegetable after that with garnish with Dijon mustard, sea salt, and
Yes.
cornichon.
I've
Oh.
already died waiting for Terry's last meal to be finished.
See, I want to die slowly.
All right, when we come back, it's time for
Wait, yours?
the rotisserie duck.
Nice.
Low and slow, dripping over a pan of potatoes. Because, you know, a good duck gives you 2 cups of duck fat. Yeah.
That is some good potatoes down there.
Yeah, you betcha. Rub with Love Tasty Trivia is on the docket when we come back on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Does anybody want to compete?
All right, we're gonna pick somebody.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Annie Elmore, get in here. She can hear me.
No, she can't.
Yes, she can.
Yay!
Okay.
Come on up. What's your name? Alethea.
Alethea.
Yay!
What ethnicity is Alethea? Greek. That's what it sounded like.
Have
But
a seat. You get your own mic.
remember the lesson we taught the McCormick?
Test.
Yes, exactly. Out here, not so much. In here, really, really
Yeah.
NPR tasty.
You can turn it so it's in front of you. Here you go. And you can lift
Check,
it up.
check.
Lift it up too. if
Sean
you
will
want.
come over and
that
fit,
sound
fit
okay?
you to that mic.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
I
Hey,
think
Sean,
it
watch
was the
your head.
champagne that made me brave.
You know what? Champagne does that.
Yeah.
Makes you brave.
All right. Is that better?
Yes, very good.
Good.
Do you want to pick a lifeline or do you?
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys can shout out.
Does that be
help
from
you
the
them.
want it to be
audience, or-
eviscerated by us by yourself?
Yeah. The
You're my
audience-
lifeline.
Oh.
I'm picking
wait,
yours.
wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
She can't. She's got the answers.
I would take
Oh.
Lars in the back corner over there. He runs this hotel.
Who wants to be my lifeline?
Come on, Lars. Get up here with her.
You don't have to answer, Lars. You can just whisper.
I'm gonna need you.
All right. Lars, this is Alethea.
Check, check. Oh, Alethea.
Alethea. How much of your life do you spend correcting people on how to pronounce your name?
A lot.
A lot of. Okay.
I'm glad you have a co-conspirator.
Me too.
Glad to be here. All right, we're wrapping up the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio with our Rub with Love Tasty Trivia Challenge. Rub with Love is a line of flavorful dry spice rubs, a fabulous toasted shallot mustard, and 4 zingy sauces. When you have them in your pantry, you have lots of tools to elevate every meal. Rub with Love is available all around the region in Whole Foods, Sprouts, QFC. You can also visit Mutual Fish in Rainier Valley, Wildwood Market in West Seattle, and Sunny Farms Country Store in Sequim. Or, if you happen to be in the Denver area, please visit one of 3 locations of Tony's Meats and Markets. So let's play, Chef, shall we?
Well, yes, I'm excited. We
All
have
right.
some wonderful guests here.
Pamela, how do we play and who's our victim?
We've got a series of questions. Each of the contestants is going to get 5, and someone's going to get the most right. And
So-
I'm so,
Alethea.
Alethea,
Our Greek
And-
goddess.
our Greek goddess, and she has some lifeline support from Lars, the GM of the hotel here. So we're very excited.
And what is she going to win?
Whatever she wants. I'm going to take her over.
Whatever she wants. No, it's
Alethea gets to go to the gift shop afterwards
Yay.
and pick out 3 rubs. We have a
Rub
little
with
red
love.
box that you can make a little gift pack with.
Oh, I want the new rubs.
You want the
All
new
right.
rubs. All right.
Good
she
time.
wants the fresh one.
Chef in the hat.
Go ahead, hit me.
It's all. Remember, we're thinking Mardi Gras. We're in a New
Oh,
Orleans state of mind.
okay.
This is multiple choice. What is the correct translation of Mardi Gras? Is it Street Party, Fat Tuesday, or Carnival of Roses?
Fat Tuesday,
Correct. Number 2, what day comes after Mardi Gras?
Wednesday gras.
Skinny Wednesday. Skinny Wednesday.
Diet Wednesday. Diet Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday, the
Same thing.
start of Lent.
You
Oh.
heathen.
You're
You
not
heathen.
getting
Where's
that
your
one.
religious?
I left that a long time ago. Sorry.
What is the again?
What
uh,
comes
2
after Ash
choices.
Wednesday?
What is the Mardi Gras slogan? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi or laissez les bon temps rouler?
Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Wow,
Let
Chef, you're
the
on a
good
roll.
time roll.
Number 4. What is the defining condiment on a muffletta sandwich?
You should know this one, Chef. You use it all the time on your roast
Oh.
lamb.
Harissa. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just because you said I use it on my roast, I was gonna play with you.
Or your salmon.
No, I'm gonna go with thyme. How's that?
It is the briny, spicy olive salad
Olive
layered in
tapenade.
between the
Olive
meats.
tapenade.
You guys knew that,
I
right?
gave you that one, Chef.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
And finally, what is the signature Mardi Gras dessert?
Well, I'm gonna go with the King's Galette, which
Yes.
is King's cake. I mean, which is typical and classic.
That's the little toy king on the
Little
inside.
toy cake on the inside. You break your teeth, and then you're the king for the day.
Nice. All right. How'd
3
you
out of
do?
5.
3 out of 5.
It's
Alicia,
just
do you
above
want to
average.
watch one more segment, or do you want to go next?
Let's just go for
Let's
it.
go for it. All right.
What is the name of the spicy pork sausage in gumbo? Starts with an A.
Yeah, you're right.
A dually.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Pronounce-
Yay.
Yes.
Way
Pronounce
to, way to
andouille.
go. Good start.
Good strong
Yeah.
start. What is the popular rum drink widely consumed in the streets of New Orleans during Mardi Gras? Might be related to a
Huh?
storm. Whisper to him.
A hurricane.
Yay!
I totally forgot that. You can do drive-through hurricanes down there.
3. What is the official state donut in Louisiana?
Beignet.
Oh my God! They're on a roll.
Screaming into the lead. How many? I'm going to give you a multiple choice. How many king cakes are sold during the average carnival season in New Orleans? Remember, carnival starts on the 12th night and goes up to Mardi Gras. So is it 11,000, 25,000, or 500,000?
We're going to go 25.
500,000.
Wow. That's a lot of cake.
That's a lot of cake.
That's
And
crazy.
Finally, Bananas Foster was invented in a New Orleans restaurant and is still a favorite dessert in Louisiana. Can you describe its most distinguishing visual feature? When they bring it to the table, what happens?
It's flaming.
Yes!
Yes. 4 out of 5.
I think we might have gotten crushed there, Chef.
Yeah, I think
Good teamwork.
beat me by 1. Oh.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Pam.
What are the
Aloha.
What are the signature colors of Mardi Gras? And bonus points if you know what each color represents.
So no bonus points.
But we'll take
And
the
I'm going to
colors.
say purple, gold, and blah blah blah. Oh,
Look at your mask.
look at my mask. Green,
Yes,
purple, and gold. Yeah.
Gold. Green represents faith. Gold symbolizes power, and purple is for justice. Number
that.
2. What
That's
states?
just what I'm thinking about when they're belly dancing down Bourbon Street.
At 10 a.m.
Justice.
Because you haven't been to bed yet.
What states recognize Fat Tuesday as a holiday?
What states?
Mm.
In the United States of America?
In the United States of America.
Louisiana.
I know. That was
Yes.
going to be my first. I'm like, let's
There
try
are 2
Louisiana.
more where
There's
it's a
2 more
legal
where it's
holiday.
A legal holiday.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say Mississippi and Florida.
Florida and Alabama.
Ah,
I think he gets a 0.5 on that.
Yep.
In the United Kingdom, Mardi Gras is also known as Pancake Day.
really?
Do you know why?
Because they've broken out in acne and they need pancake makeup from all the
Thanks,
hurricanes they drank.
thanks to a tradition that dates back to the Middle Ages, the idea was that pancakes were an ideal way to use up animal-based food items like milk, butter, and eggs that wouldn't be allowed during Lent.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Fantastic.
Please describe crawfish etouffee.
Chef Paul Prudhomme actually has made me crawfish etouffee.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's done with a little bit of a dark brown or blackened roux, and it's kind of a gravy with lots of spices in it. And then the crawdads are simply sautéed with it.
Beautiful,
Served over
John.
rice.
And Terry, would you tell him the translation of étouffée?
Strangled.
Strangles.
As in-
strangling.
But it's used in the case of étouffée. I think it's because it's covered when it's cooked, baked and cooked slowly. So because of that, it's kind of like killing the whole fire kind of idea. So I think that's why they were using that as a word to start with. Because I can't think of, unless they were talking about the crawdad going into the
No,
into the pot.
the smothering, strangling was the translation.
Right.
Finally, Tom, it's not just the tradition, it's the law that everyone on a float must wear a mask or paint their face. The practice was originally started to encourage people to mingle and talk to those outside of your social circle. But what time does New Orleans law require masks to be removed?
Before Lent. Before Ash Wednesday.
We'll take it. It's 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Come on.
That hardly seems worth it.
How'd he do, Terry?
4. They both did
Oh,
4.
it's a
I lost.
tie. You get a
Nice
rubber
job,
glove, Tom.
Lars and Alethea. Have fun in the gift shop after the show. If you want to be part of the show, you can join the community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas and Company. Also, remember, if you missed any episode of the Hot Stove Society show in Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe with your favorite podcast app. And the show is produced, of course, here by Pamela Hinckley. Sean is our technical director, McFadden, and our editor is Sean. Don't call me Del Torre, please.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to support the restaurants for Syria and Greece.
Yeah, Wednesday the 22nd, 20% goes to earthquake relief. Okay, sit still for 1 second. We're going to do a promo before you guys flood the gift shop. Got to be quiet. 100%. Kitchen team got us. Hi, I'm Tom Douglas.
And I'm Terry Roturo, the chef in the hat.
This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society radio show, we talk about it's time for soup. The great soup recipes from the New York Times. You can have cassoulet on a weeknight with a few adaptations. Seattle restaurants raise money for Turkey and Syria earthquake relief on the 22nd. And let's make some pizza at home.
It's a wrap. Thank you, everyone, for coming in.